Section 20, a certificate for a quarantine CGRG or when cargo manifested for the any port in the Philippines is the retained on the port on the importing vessels by order of the quarantine office or any other officers authorized to issue such a order. The customs inspectors on the board after verifying said cargo shall make a certificate on a structive lading as to the bill of lading. Section 20. Use of the boarding watercraft. The customs senior boarding officer shall not permit anyone to go with a customs boarding watercraft upon dispatcher from the pier except customs inspectors and the customs guard duly assigned to the vessels to the boarded. Section 22. Baggage of declaration entry bags and greedy declarations properly completed by the incoming passenger shall be the presented to the customs inspectors on the board or the customs examiner or appraisal upon boarding on the board vessel. Section 23. Vessel clearance of the foreign posts applying for bunkers. The custom inspectors on the board of the vessels clearing the foreign ports and applying for the bunker shall require the master there to transmit together. Section 24. Unloading of a cargo by the discharge in vessel in a distress vessel in a port desiring to load cargo for a duration of the vessel's so during the trip may be issue a permit to discharge air and discharge cargo upon written request of the master or agent approved by the collectors of the customs such terms of conditions he may deem proper if the cargo's discharge will declare or entered the port where they are discharged. The unloading of this class of the cargo shall be submit or the same rules of the regulation prescribed for the cargoes destined or the port. Section 25. Ship mails shall be examined as they are being taken from the ship and all mails addressed to the person other than the agent of the vessel shall be delivered to the mail clerk. Section 27. Seizures. The custom inspector or the customs guard making seizures shall be delivered to the owner or the claimant, and if unclaimed to the master of the vessel, a receipt describing the article size. Section 28. Arrest of search of the vessel or the any person on the board thereof customs inspectors or a customs guard on the board is authorized required to search, arrest, and even detain conformable or the law of any perfect found committing act of contrary to law. Section 29. Small boats alongside vessels. Small boats authorized by the PPPA and the ferry service may be permitted to come alongside the vessel. Customs guard shall be stationed at all times while the small boat lands or any water draft alongside, and it shall be shortly searched before being permitted till the depart. Section 30. Customs guard for a vesseling alongside a customs guard shall be detailed by the customs inspectors on the board of the vessels when another vessels is lying vessels as the side host duty shall be to see that no contraband article or a merchandise that pass for one of the vessel to the other. Section 31. Having anchored and sailed upon receipt of the notice of the clearance, the customs inspector on the board shall be law of the vessel to haven and shore and sail. But if for any reason the ship does not leave and the main report for more than 48 hours after the time of departure indicated, the clearance of the master agent shall be required to secure from the customs clearance officer and the extension of the time departure without which the original clearance shall be of the null force or effect. Section 32. Repair of the vessel equipment upon the failing of a bond underguard. Section 105 of the Customs Code of the Philippines as amended by the Guaranteeing of Exportation and approved by the collectors of the customs, the land of fig of the seal tax of the chronometers or other portion of the vessels of the equipment for the purpose of the having required shall be permitted. Section 33. Conversion of the vessel status. From foreign to coastwise, vessel of the foreign status may be converted to coast I status after the following requirements are fully complied with and submitted to the collectors of the customs through the customs clearance and as prerequisite to the insurance of the clearance. Section 34. Letters to the collectors, the customs senior boarding officer or the shall collect the letters in the vessels possessions and address to collectors the customs and transmitted them without delay to the customs house. Section 35. Refuse and the garbage. No refuse, garbage and the like shall be thrown or disowned inside any harbor, more especially while in ship in alongside piers, all damaged and routine. Section 36. Firearms are care and use. Care shall not be exercised in the use of firearms. The unnecessary display of firearms is prohibited, and employees should remember that the law will hold and him as a person responsible for the result of the use of firearms. Section 37. Instructions relative to discharging, withdrawal, and loading of empty container, the shipping agent, carrier. Section 38. Instructions relative to the withdrawal of shut of out containerized export and the withdrawal of shut out the containerized export and the cargoes. All applications for the withdrawal of shut out containerized export cargoes shall be direct filed and with the ship C1CD or its equivalent office. Section 39. Shipping of a cargo. Shipping agent shall be submitted a writing request of the shipping of the cargoes to the office of the ship piers and inspections division or equivalent office, which is turn shall be recommended its approval of the deputy collectors for operation. 40. Debanning, stripping, and stuffing consign shall be submitted a writing request for the debanning, stripping, and stuffing to the office of the ship piers and the inspections division or equivalent office, which is turn shall recommended its approval to the deputy collectors for operation. Section 41. Direct to the truck transfer. For direct transfer to container cargo from the vessel truck, consigning customs broker shall submit a writing request to the office of the ship piers and inspections divisions for equivalent of office, which is turn shall recommended its approval to the deputy collector for the operation. Section 42. Overtime permit. All requests for the overtime works by pier and inspections division or its equivalent office personnel other than those regular activities mentioned in this manual shall be recommended by the ship piers and the inspections division or its equivalent office and approved by the deputy collectors for the operation. Section 43. Discharging of the vessel slots. All the requests for the discharging of the vessel slots shall be recommended by the ship piers and the inspections division or its equivalent office and approved by the deputy collectors for operations. Section 44. Bunkering permit. All requests for the bunkering, requelling, shall be recommended for the approval by the ship and Pierce and the Inspections Division or the equivalent office to the Seaport Operations Service o EOCG. Lastly, Section 45 Leisure Racing Jet, the boarding formalities shall as far as practicable apply to the leisure craft, yacht, and foreign-facing vessel and the location facing vessels from the abroad.